Hello, everybody. What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Stop Lounge. This is episode number 27. It's the penultimate episode of this season. And as always, we are your hosts, Jan and Malcolm. Um, as you can see, guys, I'm wearing orange because you know exactly what we're here for today. But we're gonna get to that later on. But first, how are you, bro?
I'm alright, bro. Thank you very much. I had a pretty chill weekend, to be honest.
Like the
I
chill
got,
guy.
yes, like the chill guy. I got myself a new office chair because the one I had broke down.
Oh, okay.
I almost slipped with the other chair. So that's when you know that you need to buy a new chair. And practically, other than that, pretty chill. I had a pretty relaxed weekend. I was all by myself. I was off socials, to be honest.
Yeah, we
But
need.
other than that, no issues. And Christmas is also on the horizon. Lights are on, such the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
But other than that, all good. How are you, bro?
I'm great. Had a bit of a busy week as per usual. I mean, my weeks have been very very busy throughout this year. But yeah, from my end, I'm good. Sports wise, Formula One, fantastic. Football wise, shit, terrible.
Don't
I
don't,
mean,
don't get us don't get us started.
no, yeah,
Don't
yes.
don't don't get us started.
The less said about that, the better. But no, I mean, we're approaching Christmas time now. Obviously, a great time to be with family and friends, and and the whole bus of activities gonna happen. I mean, this week, I have a wedding, my first wedding. It's gonna be my first wedding in over 7 years, so
Enjoy
I'm very,
it.
very, very,
Enjoy
very
it.
excited. Yeah,
Enjoy it.
thanks.
Weddings can be both fun and
And
both
chaotic.
full of, the word.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I also have a bit of a run on Sunday as well, so going for that. Otherwise, great. Looking forward to the Christmas season ahead. Guys, is this if this is your first time listening to this podcast? This is a podcast about Formula One. What happens on the racetrack and the paddock inside of it. Make sure to follow us on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Spotify listeners, you know the drill. Hit us up with a rating. Let us know your thoughts on each poll we publish. It doesn't matter
Yep.
if it's the beginning of the season or if it's the end of the season. Make sure to follow us on our socials and give us a
Pardon.
rating on those polls. And without further ado, guys, let us get into today's episode. Of course,
Yep.
we have the final race of this Formula One season to talk about. But before we get into that, we have loads to talk about with that. We're gonna of course start the news of the racetrack and not much to talk about, bro. We have a couple of tracks that have got extended for a number of years. We also have some exciting news with one of the drivers as well. And we also had some updates regarding Cadillac as well, who they've announced their new team principal. But we're going to start with the tracks.
Yep.
Um, we have Zandvoort and Shanghai have both been extended for a number of years. The first with Zandvoort, it's been there were some rumors that it was that this season was going to be its last in the F1 calendar, but Dutch fans, even Max Verstappen fans in general, they have something to cheer about because Zandvoort is going to stay in the calendar for just two more seasons up to 2026. So 2026 is going to be the last. It's going to be the last year that Zandvoort is going to be held in. Bro, a bit positive news to cherish, but at the same time, at least they have something to be happy about with regarding this news,
Well,
despite just 2 more years time.
yes. I mean, it's bittersweet.
It's
Let's put it that
bittersweet.
way. Bittersweet. Let's put it that way. Bittersweet. Even though, in my opinion, I'm not gonna miss it.
It's not one of our favorite
I,
tracks.
I, I'm not gonna miss it. I mean, yes, it's high downforce, a lot of corners and such, but I'm not gonna miss it. It's very technical track. It's a very technical, and it's another European circuit out of the calendar, so it's a time to bring back another European circuit, such as Hockenheim.
Yeah, yeah,
Can they
and
bring it? Can they bring back Hockenheim, bro?
or Kailami.
I mean, but Kailami is from South Africa.
Yeah, yeah, but
But if we want to replace Europe with Europe, bring back Hockenheim, bro. I miss Hockenheim, I really do
yeah,
miss Hockenheim.
same here.
But we'll talk about Hockenheim. This is about Zandvoort.
Yeah, at least with the Dutch fans and with Max Verstappen in particular, at least he has two more seasons to be racing in home soil. So that is Zandvoort up to 2026. That has makes sense.
To be honest, okay, like it's gonna stay there for two
Yeah,
more
yeah,
seasons, but
yeah.
Doesn't really affect me.
Not so much. Same
In my
here.
opinion.
The second track is Shanghai, the Chinese Grand Prix. It has been extended. It has been extended for 5 more years until 2030. Great news for obviously for the Chinese fans, for the organizers as well. Shanghai has been a staple track in this calendar for a number of years now, and to see it extended, to see it being extended for a number of years, for a few more years, it's great to see. Bro, I think nothing much to add with this, right?
It's alright. It's an alright track. I mean, I don't know if I
Yeah.
prefer Zandvoort or Shanghai, to be honest. They're quite meh.
Zandvoort or Shanghai? No, I think Shanghai is the better track. I think.
I think I go for Shanghai, but not by a
Yeah, yeah.
landslide.
No, I think Shanghai outperforms Zandvoort in my opinion. I think just
Yeah.
because of its
Listen, listen,
of its longevity mainly.
listen. Apart from that, even it makes racing more exciting.
Yeah.
When has racing been exciting in Zandvoort?
No, I mean,
I see Zandvoort. I see Zandvoort like Monaco. Actually,
hmm,
the difference is,
I'll take.
I mean, the difference is between Zandvoort and Monaco is you don't have barriers coming at you.
No.
But in terms of narrowness, is that a word? Narrowness?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
In terms of narrowness, it's quite similar. They're quite similar.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed?
Yeah, yeah, I did notice a bit of similarities, but didn't get too much into the specifics with regards to those parts of the track, basically.
Well,
But
anyways, I mean, shout out to Shanghai, shout out to the Chinese, bro. They're gonna get 5 more years of Formula One, which I don't mind, to be honest. I mean, really didn't affect me, if I'm honest.
yeah, exactly. So that is the news regarding the tracks that got extended for a couple more years. The second piece of news is Max Verstappen, and big congratulations goes to Max Verstappen and his girlfriend Kelly Piquet, who are expecting a baby boy. And it also sparking rumors that he might be taking a sabbatical year, and maybe next year or the one afterward
That's so
his
sweet,
because
man.
of his baby. And yeah, very very sweet news.
That's very sweet if he does that. To me, I clap him off, bro. Family first, always.
Yeah, family first. And listen, he's won four world titles now. He's a four-time world champion, so I think he deserves a bit of a break
He said it
in the
multiple
sport.
he said it multiple times that if he has to retire now, he would do it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him, to be honest.
Why would you blame him?
Yeah,
He's won what there is to win. But listen, first off,
yeah,
big
definitely.
congratulations to Max Verstappen and to his girlfriend Kelly Piquet. They're having a baby boy,
Probably
bro.
a baby boy. Probably they haven't announced the gender yet, but it looks like it's gonna be a boy. Yeah,
I mean, we don't know. Only they know until they reveal
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But whatever they have, I hope he comes. I hope that the baby is born healthy,
Yeah,
all without
definitely.
any problems, no issues. That's always. And listen, if he has to take a sabbatical, I clap him off, bro.
Same
Because
here, same here.
listen, family first, bro. Always, whatever
And he
happens
deserves
in
and he
life.
deserves and he deserves a break as well, bro.
Yeah, massive
And,
congrats to Max Verstappen.
and
It, it, it,
congratulations. Sorry.
it's the fourth world title celebrations, bro.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, it came at the right moment, basically.
Oh man, too much champagne in Monaco.
Yeah. And listen, congratulations also goes to incoming Sauber driver Gabriel Bortoleto, who's just won the Formula 2 World Championship as well. I
What a
mean,
way! Not the first time a
sorry.
F2 champion won the F2 championship and then goes straight to Formula One. It's not the first time.
Yeah, exactly. But
I
I
believe
mean,
Lando Norris
this
did
will
it,
bring
but
about.
who did it? Who did it?
I think
Did
Hamilton and Norris definitely did it.
Norris did it?
I think Russell did it as well.
Mick Schumacher did it for
Mick,
sure.
yeah, exactly.
Who else?
I
I
think
don't know. I don't know.
Russell. I think George Russell. I think George Russell as well did it, but
Could be
I'm not sure. De Vries. I think De Vries.
Nick De Vries.
Nick De Vries did as well. But listen, obviously for Bortoleto, big congratulations goes to him for winning his Formula 2 World Championship. This will obviously bring him a lot of confidence heading into Formula 1 next season. And as we said in the previous episodes, guys, I think Bortoleto going to Sauber is the perfect move for him at this stage
Very great move.
at this stage of his career.
Yeah.
And the last news of the track is Cadillac. Now, obviously, last week's episode we talked about Cadillac being announced as the 11th team heading into 2026. We also discussed on who might be their team principal for 2026. And bro, if we both of us guessed that was going to be Gunter Steiner taking charge of Cadillac, unfortunately that's not going to be the case. So that's a
Oh,
shame. But I mean
I
that
wanted
was never
Gunther,
going to happen.
bro.
Yeah,
I
same
wanted
here.
Gunther,
But it
bro.
was. But listen,
It was a long shot. It was a long shot.
let's be honest, it was never going to happen though.
It was a long shot.
But anyhow, back to where we were talking about. Basically, it's not going to be Gunter Steiner as the team principal for Cadillac. Is going to be Graham Loden. And if you probably don't know who this guy
Who?
is, Graham Loden. He is the former the former sporting director of Marussia. And Marussia were a Formula One
Oh
team back in
God.
2015. So that's how long.
Oh my God, bro. That's Jules Bianchi territory right there.
Yeah, I was actually gonna mention him basically.
That's Jules Bianchi territory. Rest in peace to Jules, man. Rest in peace to
Yeah.
him.
Anyways, back to the Cadillac news. They've announced that they've reached an agreement with Graham Loden to become their new team principal for their for their project heading into 2026. Now, obviously, Graham Loden is British. He was last seen in Formula One as the sporting director of Marussia as sporting director of Marussia back in 2015. But also importantly, bro, he has most recently played a key part in managing Zhou Guan Yu becoming a full-time Formula One driver.
That's interesting. That is
Which
interesting.
is interesting stuff. So so that could for Zhou Guan Yu that could be
You see,
a possibility for him
he
heading to Cadillac.
he might work his fingers again to getting Zhou Guan Yu into a Cadillac seat.
Yeah,
It could happen.
and that would be full,
That's
and
interesting. That is very interesting.
that would be a full, sorry to interrupt you. That would be a full circle moment as well for
It would be.
both Joel Guan Yu and Graham Loden as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That is
Bro,
interesting.
quick thoughts. I don't think we have a lot of anything to say about this news, right?
Bro, I don't know who this Graham Loden guy is. I have no idea who he is. Who man is he? But as soon as you mentioned Marussia, I mean Marussia, you told me you went way back now. I mean that's
Yeah,
almost 10 years ago now, which is crazy.
it is 10 years ago. I mean, heading to 2025, that would be 10 years.
That's
Since
crazy.
he was last involved back in sport.
Time freaking flies, bro. Crazy. But I mean, shout out to this Graham Loden dude. I hope he does well with Cadillac. See where it goes.
Yeah,
But I don't know, dude, from a can of paint. Well,
no,
whatever
no,
it is, what it
absolutely.
is.
And speaking of Cadillac, bro, obviously the driver rumors are starting to circulate now. The favorites at the moment look like Daniel Ricciardo and Zhou Guanyu as well. Those two drivers are in the hot seat for the Cadillac seats come 2026. But I think with regards to this news, I think we still need to wait a
Yeah,
little bit to see
no,
how their team is going to form up.
I think it's way too early to properly discuss on who their driver
Yes,
should be.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, we did mention this last week. I said I would go with someone like Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, definitely.
But in reality, it's way too early to discuss.
Yeah,
Way too
definitely.
early in reality.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
All right, so that is sorry. So all right, so guys, so that is the Cadillac news, and now we're gonna head into Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the season finale of the F1 calendar. It's been the season finale of the Formula One season since 2010, and heading into this weekend, bro. First of all, before we get into that, actually, your thoughts on Abu Dhabi?
I love it.
Same here.
I used to hate it. I really used to hate it. But it has served up some spicy races over the years, Abu
Yes.
Dhabi. Especially now. I mean, it's been like this since 2021, I believe. They arranged the
Yeah,
first
yeah, they
sector of the
arranged.
track. It
Yeah,
was like this, and
yeah,
then they go into the grandstand. Now it's just a free flowing, and even going into sector 3.
yeah.
In sector 3, it used to be like so, but now it's just one clean swoop, and it really improved the track. It made it a million miles better, in my opinion.
More competitive as well.
No, you could say that, but
Yeah,
for me, it's more flowing. The cars flow better. It's not like stop and go, stop and go. It's just
No,
one
exactly.
free flow and that's it. And they improved the track a million times more.
Yeah,
So
I
from
agree.
hating to loving the track. And to me, as much as we miss having Brazil as the season finale, which also serves up classic races,
Yes.
Abu Dhabi has its fair share as well.
Yeah, and listen,
So
heading into that, heading into that section, basically, Abu Dhabi has served us many memorable races over the years. I mean, the 2 years that I'm thinking of is 2012. Basically, Kimi Raikkonen winning in the Lotus. Obviously, we got that
yes,
famous quote of "Just leave me alone. I know what I'm doing."
yes,
Gave us that fresh quote. But obviously, the big one is 2021. Max
exactly.
Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton.
That 2021, bro. I remember it was you, me, and Martin on the group chat, yeah.
And Carlos as well.
And Carlos, it was you,
Yeah,
me, Martina, and Carlos in the group chat.
yeah,
We were all seeing the race from our homes,
yeah.
and we were going crazy. Like,
No, I mean
what's
the
about to happen? And as soon as Verstappen and Hamilton came side by side before the safety car restart,
yeah.
you could tell. You could cut
It
the tension.
was
You could cut the tension with a knife, bro.
yeah.
It
And
was
listen,
crazy,
it was like a Hollywood ending, basically. I mean,
crazy.
with that race going. And listen, we could spend like the next half an hour talking about that race in general, the
Oh my
controversies with
god.
Michael Masi, the decisions with race control, the tension between Hamilton and Verstappen as well,
Because
the Toto Wolff and Christian Horner.
it was a hot rivalry that year.
No, yeah,
We
absolutely.
haven't seen a rivalry like that since probably,
Alan
funnily
Prost and Ayrton
enough,
Senna.
Alan Prost and Senna, and between Ferrari and McLaren back in the day.
And Hakan Schumacher, basically. Yeah, I
Hakkinen
mean,
and Schumacher, Ferrari
yeah,
and
I
McLaren.
agree.
That
So
was the last time we've seen. And since then, we haven't seen another rivalry since.
there was Vettel and Hamilton as well.
That was, but Vettel and Hamilton always had a
There
sort of
was
respect.
respect. Yes,
There was
yes, I agree.
respect. There was no hatred really.
No, there wasn't. But anyway, oh, you want to talk? You want to mention
No,
a
no, no,
point?
no, no. But listen, but that I 2021 is for the history books,
Yeah.
and just with 2021 alone, rightfully deserves this place as the season finale.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on it. And like you said, bro, they made a whole lot of adjustments with this fact that made it so much better, even on a competitive
A
standpoint.
million times better.
Um, and we said also last week that on of all the Middle East tracks, Abu Dhabi is the one that can't be
Easy,
removed whatsoever. Because
easy.
in Qatar, in a way, we could go without it, but Abu Dhabi, there's no way it can be removed
Abu Dhabi has
from
to
the
stay.
F1
It's
calendar.
become such a stable. It's such a
No,
sorry. It's such a
absolutely.
staple. That's the word. Staple. I mean, I'm not stable.
Yeah.
It's such a staple now
We're both
because it's
stable.
been a exactly since for 14 years now or so. Is it 14?
14 years.
It's
Yeah,
for
2010 was his first appearance.
so. And I think it was. I don't remember this. I'm gonna be honest, but I think it was pretty controversial when it came on the grid on the calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the same with Vegas as well because of the money situation, obviously with the location of the Middle East. But
But listen,
no, I think long
hats
may
out.
stay. Long may stay.
Long may Abu Dhabi stay. If
Long may
Abu
stay.
Dhabi is the only Middle Eastern track that has to stay, more than happy. And it should stay as the season finale. We don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
Listen,
love it.
I love it, as you said before, bro. I love Interlagos as the season finale, but I think Abu Dhabi now is gonna stay there as the
Yeah.
last race of the season. I mean, even in
It's earned its
2025
right.
next year, it's gonna be that.
It's earned
Yeah,
its right.
I agree. I
It's earned
agree.
its right.
Now, obviously, bro, heading into this weekend, it was the end of an era for so many drivers. I mean, pretty much for almost half the drivers off the track. It was Lewis Hamilton's final race with Mercedes after 12 legendary years with the team. It was Carlos Sainz's final race with Ferrari. It was Nico Hulkenberg's and Kevin Magnussen's final race with Haas. It was Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu's final race with Sauber.
A lot of
It's
goodbyes, man.
a lot of goodbye. Obviously, look, Abu Dhabi also serves us many goodbyes. Has served us many goodbyes over the recent years, and this year was no exception as well.
Sorry.
It was the end of an era for so many drivers, and obviously this episode is called "End of an Era," so it's very fitting that this episode is called that basically. And bro, before we always head into Abu Dhabi, we always get a photo of all the drivers going out for dinner, and we had it last year,
Yeah.
and this year was no exception.
It was their sort. It's their sort of family gathering kind of thing.
But there weren't all the drivers. There were I think there were like three missing drivers there. There
I
was
didn't see the pictures, to be honest. I really didn't see the
I
pictures.
mean, because Esteban Ocon was definitely not in the picture as well. Obviously, Esteban Ocon didn't take part during this weekend. It was Jack Doohan replacing him. But there were like three missing drivers from the photo there, but I think the funniest caption has to go for Lando Norris because he took a dig on George Russell and Max Verstappen's sort of pantomime rivalry, if you want to call it that, basically, because
Norris was instigating with that.
yeah.
He was instigating the
Yeah.
little shit, bro. He was instigating.
Yeah,
Both of them.
I mean, I think he knows what the people want. So I think he was very very cheeky with that caption.
He
But
was instigating, bro. The little shit.
no, listen, I want to know your thoughts a bit on this whole rivalry between George Russell and Max Verstappen because for me it just created this unnecessary tension between these two drivers, and it went as far with Toto Wolff and Christian Horner as well. I mean, apparently Christian Horner called Toto Wolff a fox terrier for
Yeah, and
some reason.
Horner came up with the worst comeback, bro. He
Yeah,
came up with the
absolutely.
worst comeback. He'd rather be a terrier than a wolf. Who the
A,
fuck
ter-
would say
a, a, terrier,
that?
a terrier than a wolf. No, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
Who would rather be a terrier than a wolf, bro? What are you on about?
listen, he was spot on at least with the whole because it's like it's pantomime season. But the whole fox terrier comments made absolutely no sense. I think.
Listen,
It's
listen.
baffling. Honestly, it's really baffling.
This is the reason why what I've been telling you before the episodes, before we started the episode, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were saying about Ferrari, McLaren rivalry. There's no such thing. Mercedes and Red Bull are not that competitive nowadays in terms of winning races, competing against each other to win races all the time, and they still are at each other's throats.
Yeah. Which is fun,
There's
which is great to
no
see. Which
way.
is great to see.
It is for the neutrals, which we are. We are the neutrals in this, but they still hate each other after 2021. We just mentioned 2021. They still can't stand each other.
I think both. I think it's not just both these, but Mercedes in particular. They're just not going to get over 2021. I mean, the way that
No,
race
they never
unfolded,
will.
the way
They
that
never
race
will.
unfolded, the
They
way that race unfolded, there's no way Toto Wolff in particular is going to get away. Is going to move off. Is
no,
going to move on from that race. Absolutely,
no. There's no chance. They've never moved on from it.
they're not going to move
Because
on from it. No way.
the second they get the chance to mention it, they're gonna mention it.
But hey, listen, it's fun. We're all here for it.
It is though. But
We're all here for it. I mean, it's fucking hilarious, but at the same time, it makes no fucking sense, bro. I mean, why the terrier comment?
and listen, bro. Where did Christian Horner get into? Because they're both all right. Because it's another situation where a Mercedes driver and a Red Bull driver are at each other's throats. So the team principals have to play parenting and get in front of one another.
Yeah,
Bro, dude.
it's baffling. It's baffling,
And
man.
imagine, right? Imagine Verstappen comes back from his sabbatical year if he takes a sabbatical.
If he takes a sabbatical, it's a rumor, obviously.
If he takes a sabbatical, and he comes back to join Mercedes, bro, the scenes. Just imagine. Yeah.
It would be unfathomable scenes,
Just
bro.
just
Unfathomable scenes.
just
And we're all
imagine
here
the
for it.
scenes, bro. It's like
That would
watching
be
wrestling.
that would be crazy.
It would be
That would be
watching
crazy, bro.
it would be like watching WWE, bro. You can't make this shit up.
The most that would be the most unpredictable storyline you could ever imagine, basically. It would be
Not even the wrestling writers could come up with that.
no, absolutely. But listen, um, let's move on from that. Let's move on from that because obviously besides the goodbyes, the main talk of the weekend, bro, was obviously the constructors title between McLaren and Ferrari.
Yeah.
Red Bull were also in the discussion, but McLaren and Ferrari were obviously the main talk of the town. And obviously I mean, as we discussed, bro, you were already waving the white flag, saying that McLaren
We've checked
were
out. I've checked out because I knew
you
what
were
was going to happen.
yeah, yeah. Listen, you were already waving the white flag that McLaren were gonna win the constructor titles with ease. With me, on the other hand, I said, let's wait and see what happens in the race because anything can happen. And in the end, bro, you were right, but it was far more closer than we
Yeah,
predicted it to be.
yeah, yeah. It
But
was. It was.
we're going to get into that later on in the race. We're going to start with
True.
qualifying. But before we head into qualifying, bro, there was a special moment between the Leclerc brothers because Charles Leclerc's brother Arthur took part in practice. Obviously, he finished well below the grid, but sweet moment for the Leclerc brothers.
Yes.
He also admitted that he suffered from food poisoning as well, which
Who, Arthur?
think Charles, no Charles.
Oh shit! Damn.
He admitted he had he was suffering from food poisoning before taking on before getting into the driver's seat. But bro, sweet moment
Absolutely. And it's the first time in history that two brothers were teammates.
yeah,
First time in history. I mean, we've had brothers, Michael Schumacher and Ralf Schumacher,
yeah,
but they drove against each other, like Michael Schumacher for Ferrari and Ralf
yeah,
Schumacher for BMW Williams back then.
yeah,
But this is the first time that the two brothers were actual teammates. Even
definitely.
just for a single practice session, but it was a sweet moment, yes.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, bro, besides Arthur, we've had a bunch of rookies taking part in free practice one. Now, obviously, these drivers are not going to be in the grid next season, except for one, which is Jack Doohan. Obviously, Jack Doohan replaced Esteban Ocon for Abu Dhabi, and he's also going to be their new. He's also going to be fighting Pierre Gasly next season. Obviously, we gave our thoughts on this decision. We haven't didn't agree on it that much because it didn't make much sense.
And
But
listen, it showed in the race.
yeah, it showed in the race. But we're not gonna get too hard. We're not gonna be too harsh on
Nah,
him,
nah,
bro, because it's his first
not at
race.
all.
But heading to the rookies making their F1 debuts and getting a shout in practice, we had Rio Hirakawa for McLaren. He is the oldest of the rookies at 30 years old. We've had obviously
How old is he? 30?
30, yeah, 30,
30 and
30.
a rookie?
Yeah, I mean,
That
doesn't make
doesn't. That
odd,
doesn't
very, very
sound.
odd.
That doesn't sound right, bro.
No, absolutely.
30 and a
We've had
rookie?
no, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, we've had Arthur Leclerc driving for Ferrari alongside his brother Charles. We've had Isaac Hadjar for Red Bull. He replaced Verstappen for the first pre-practice session. We've had Felipe Drugovic driving for the Brazilian driver, driving for Aston Martin. He obviously won the Formula 2 World title 2 years ago. He drives for Aston Martin. We had Ayumu Iwasa, who driving for Racing Bulls, another Japanese driver or Chinese, I think, driver.
Yeah, it was no,
Um,
it was Japanese.
Japanese, yeah. We've also had Luke Browning making his on-track debut for the Williams, and those basically were the rookies taking part in free practice. So good run for good run out for the rookie drivers to making their debuts in the sport. And it was great to see
Yeah.
for those drivers to make an appearance in free practice one. Um, all right, bro, we're going to head to qualifying. We're going to start, obviously, with Q1. Then we're
Let's
going to
go.
work our way into Q2 and Q3. Now, bro, in Q1, the real highlight, obviously, we've had a big shock, but the real highlight was Valtteri Bottas getting P2. Now, obviously,
Yeah.
this obviously meant
That
nothing
meant
because
nothing.
this meant nothing, but yeah, big surprise. And it
Tra-
was
track, track,
great to
track.
see.
When he was on his flying lap at the end of Q1, the track was ramping up.
Yeah,
So
it was.
he was getting more grip, finding more grip in the track, and it helped him.
Yeah,
Eventually, Q1 getting pole. It's all about getting into Q2 and getting out of Q1 into Q2 and getting out of Q2 to get into Q3. That's what it's all about. But it was a pretty nice moment.
yeah,
Pretty nice
absolutely. And
moment.
also, bro, I don't know if you've watched it, if you've seen this, but Liam Lawson had to get through a shit ton of traffic
Yeah, I
towards the
seen
start
it.
finish
I
straight.
seen it, bro.
That was quite dangerous. Eh? I mean,
Yeah,
the way the
Russell
drivers
had
were
to
slowing
move.
down.
Russell had to move off track.
not just him. There were like 3 or 4 more drivers. I mean, but
It was like a slalom out there.
yeah, I mean, but listen, I was quite impressed with Liam Lawson's reflexes and driving skills there because I mean
Absolutely.
that was not easy to maneuver from
Not at all. Not at all.
speeds. But obviously, so getting into those who got knocked out of Q1. We've talked about him just recently, bro. We talked about him just now, bro. Jack Doohan in 20th, no surprise. It's a typical rookie performance. Driving for the Alpine. Listen, I think he has nothing. I mean, for this race, he had nothing to lose, Jack Doohan. I mean,
Nah, absolutely nothing.
it's his debut in the sport. I think he,
Do you know what? You know what this was like for Jack Doohan? Is
yeah,
this was like a sort of a school outing.
yeah, it was. I
That's
mean,
what it was for him.
and listen, I mean, heading into this weekend, bro. I said that we were not going to be very, very harsh on him. It's his first, it's his debut. Obviously, at this point now, at this stage, he just has to get the feel of the car on, and it's also a taste of him on what he's gonna what he's gonna be expecting for next season as well. So
Yeah.
a good effort for him, but obviously 20th, no surprises there for Jack Doohan. Franco Colapinto in 19th with the Williams. Obviously, Franco Colapinto, we forgot to mention, bro. This was also this potentially is his final appearance
Alright.
in the sport,
Which
unless
is which is which is a shame. Which is a
it is a
shame.
shame. Unless obviously he doesn't get offered a seat for next season. This was his final appearance in the sport, and how this weekend turned out, it wasn't what
It's
he
been
expected to be.
let's say a premature end.
Yeah, it is, and and it's a shame, and it's a big shame actually that he only managed 90, and the race was even worse for him, unfortunately
Absolutely.
for Colapinto.
Absolutely.
Bro, the big surprise obviously is Lewis Hamilton in 18. Now, the reason why Lewis Hamilton got knocked out of Q1 was because he had a bollard underneath his car.
How unlucky, bro.
Very unlucky.
How unlucky. As when I saw that Hamilton got knocked out of Q1, I was shook.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
same
shook. I
here.
was shook. Like, oh my god, bro, it's his last race. How was it that bad? But then a bollard got caught underneath because Magnussen hit a bollard, and the bollard ended up under Lewis Hamilton's car. So Lewis Hamilton had to practically do the whole lap with a bollard underneath his car. I'm actually quite surprised he didn't finish dead last.
But listen, at the same time, it's not a surprise that he's ended up that he had a very slow lap time because obviously that's going to affect his performance. It's going to affect his
That's the reason why. I'm surprised he didn't finish last
Sorry,
with a
no.
bollard underneath his car.
Yeah, so but obviously that is not the way to start your
So
swan song race with Mercedes. So
how unlucky do you need to be, bro?
and
That
obviously
was so
now
unlucky.
he had to start obviously from the back of the grid, so he had to work his way big
Yeah.
time from the back of the grid. And in 17th and 16th, Zhou Guan Yu and Alex Albon, but with the Sauber and the Williams, no surprises, bro. With both cars, getting finishing in those positions. For Zhou Guan Yu's teammate, it was a complete different story. But I think that also came down to driver skill as well. I mean, Bottas is obviously the better driver than Zhou Guan Yu. And with Alex Albon, yeah, Williams this season have been disappointing, bro. I mean, 16th and
Yeah.
19th. Obviously, we're gonna get to our season predictions for our next episode for our next episode next week. But Williams just have underperformed massively this season, bro, and it's sad to see.
Yeah,
Really sad to see.
from the highs of last season to now,
Yeah,
they've
disappointing,
been
disappointing,
let's say underwhelming. They
underwhelming.
had
Yeah.
a lot of crashes as well, like a lot.
A lot. I mean, the this weekend was a bit different though. I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't have any severe crashes than last week. In Q2, Kevin Magnussen in 15th again lost his final race in F1. He's heading to DTM, if I'm not mistaken, for next season. And obviously for him, he needed to make he needed to try he needed to make the most out. He had to make the most out of this weekend. And 15th compared to his teammate, not great. I mean, let's be honest here. Um,
I mean Nico Hulkenberg in Q3. We'll get to that. We'll
yeah,
get
we're
to
gonna get to that
Q3
very
and
soon.
Hulkenberg. We'll get to Q.
Another shock, bro, is Charles Leclerc in 40. Now, originally Charles Leclerc had he got himself in first, but his lap time got deleted for exceeding track limits. So
Which was
he ended
rightfully
up
so,
he
because he
which
was
was
way off.
yeah, one was rightfully so. And number two, he his original position was 14, but he also had a 10 place grid penalty for changing his battery unit. So he had to start the race at the back of the
Dead
grid
last.
at dead last. So for Ferrari, they had a lot of work to do, obviously, because
That practically, when I saw that, just when I saw that
yeah,
Leclerc has a 10 place grid penalty for the battery allocation of sorts,
yeah,
that's when I knew, like, all right, McLaren, they can just hand them the title. They can just
yeah,
hand them the
definitely. We
constructors.
had literally
I knew. So I already predicted it. I already predicted it initially, but once I saw the 10 place grid penalty, I was like, yeah, well, fight's over.
no,
And then with Leclerc getting knocked out of Q2,
yeah.
even further did.
No, listen, that for me was the moment where I said, listen, we have the upper hand on this. I mean, regardless of where we're going to end up, where we're going to end up in qualifying, we obviously ended up at the best of at the best of, as the best of the bunch. For me, that was the moment where we had the upper hand because Leclerc had a lot of work to do to work himself from the back of the grid to maybe salvage something for Ferrari. But 14th place, that was a big blow for Leclerc and Ferrari. Yeah, I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Um, Lance Stroll in 13th, bro. We're gonna get to this very quickly. No surprises here with Lance Stroll. Expected, very similar from last week. The two Racing Bulls with Liam Lawson in 12th and Yuki Tsunoda on 11th, the best they could have managed. I think obviously their main focus this weekend was that sixth place spot between Alpine and Haas. So that for me was a blow for them to finishing up. That's a silver lining for him. Um, Valtteri Bottas in 9. That's his first and only Q3 appearance of the season. And what a way
Absolutely.
to get yourself into Q3. Listen, I think for Valtteri Bottas this weekend, bro, his only objective was to make the most out. Was to give it to give his best shot, basically, and make the most
Give it
out of it.
everything. Give it
Give it
everything.
absolutely everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fantastic for him to get himself for Sauber to get for the Sauber to get himself into the top
Yeah.
10. Fernando Alonso in 8 with the Aston Martin. Again, this is I mean very similar to last week, bro. He's outperforming his teammate in every aspect at the moment and getting himself into Q3. No big surprises.
Yeah.
With the caliber of his with the caliber of the caliber of his driver, basically. Um, George Russell in 7th, better than his teammate, obviously, but disappointing to get himself to only manage 7th place with the Mercedes. I think with Mercedes at this point, bro, they have nothing much. They had nothing to lose basically with
Not at
this
all.
weekend.
Not at all. I
Fourth
mean,
place
fourth place
secured.
was exactly fourth place secured. They had no competition behind them. They couldn't catch Red Bull in third. So
Yeah,
practically, they still want
yeah,
to make the most of it, of course. But
yeah, definitely. In 6th place, continuing his purple patch, is Pierre Gasly, bro.
bro, Pierre Gasly has really ended the season well.
Yeah, absolutely, and he
A fun fact.
has a very good stat as well.
A fun fact. A very very fun fact. Pierre Gasly. But should we say it now or should we say it later? I don't know.
I think later, bro.
All right, no, we'll say it later. We'll say it later. We'll
I
say
think
it
later
later.
with
We'll say
that
it later.
race. And our top five, Max Verstappen in 5th again. Oh, bro, my cat me.
GG.
Yeah, he is. He's basically my cat's shouting in the background, guys. Basically, so apologies for that. Um, Max Verstappen in 5th again, bro. With Max, he had nothing to lose this weekend. I mean, driver side is secured. Red Bull had to no chance, to minimal to no chance when he win the constructors title. So at least he at least this was
Not
not
like
the end of
what
the world for him.
not like what he did in the race though.
No, the race was the complete opposite. We're gonna get into very quickly. Bro, Nico Hulkenberg in 4th place. That
Bro,
is a super
bro,
performance.
bro, the moment Nico Hulkenberg set the fastest lap, I'm like, could he really do it? Could he really do
I,
it?
I wasn't that optimistic for him to get pole position, but
I,
listen, he's
bro,
Mr. Saturday for a reason.
I was rooting more for Hulkenberg than Sainz, with all due respect.
Wow.
With all due respect, I really wanted Hulkenberg to at least start on the front row, but Unfortunately,
But that is a mega effort, though, in the Haas.
absolutely,
A mega
absolutely.
effort. And listen,
Hulkenberg still hasn't won a single race in Formula One.
no, he hasn't won a race. He has a pole position back with the Williams in Interlagos, but it's a shame that Hulkenberg is consistent in qualifying and the race. He's not the
The
same,
pace just
unfortunately.
drops. The pace drops.
Yeah, but it's a mega effort though. P4 with the
Absolutely.
Haas. It's
And the
so slim
Haas.
in the Haas.
Absolutely.
And listen, with Hulkenberg, we said in the previous episodes, bro, he's gonna be missed at Haas. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
he's gonna be missed there because these performances have been fantastic in qualifying
Who are the
specifically.
drivers for next year? Ocon and.
Ocon and Oliver Behrman.
Alright, Oli
Oliver
Behrman.
Behrman.
Alright,
Oli
alright,
Behrman.
alright. A
Oli
completely new
Behrman.
lineup, man.
No. And the top three, Carlos Sainz in third, and the two McLarens with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. I mean, I've said that McLaren had the upper hand for the constructors' title, and this obviously for me this was one hand on the constructors' trophy for me because first and second, yes,
Yeah,
we had Carlos
Norris.
Sainz in third, but Leclerc
Norris
at the back of the
about.
grid
Norris
had
about three
us.
tenths quicker than Piastri. He completely blitzed the grid.
We were quick, bro. I mean, we
Norris
looked
blitzed the
like we were going
grid.
to be the quickest car on the grid, and it was well deserved. I mean, to get pole
Absolutely.
position. I think
Absolutely.
Ferrari. I think they did the best they could. Obviously, with Leclerc, he was unlucky because of the penalty.
Alright, no problem. And practically, and that was basically it. That was quali. Now into the race. Now the race started off with a bit of chaos. A bit of chaos. Norris got too cleanly. Verstappen got beside Piastri, and they took each other out. So it practically propelled Sainz into second. Sainz into second, and Piastri and Verstappen ended up spinning.
Hello.
So Piastri had to go to the back of the grid, and that was practically it.
You're talking about the race?
Yeah, I just started talking about the race.
Yeah. Go ahead. You were
Well,
saying?
I'm talking about the start. Well, Verstappen practically, well, it was a clean start, like till the first corner. Norris got
Hmm.
away well, got away
Yeah.
cleanly, and Verstappen decides to do a kamikaze move and take out Piastri.
I was so pissed off, man, at that moment. Listen. United had football wise. United lost, and the
Yeah.
last thing I needed was us to bottle the constructors' title.
Listen,
And that
listen,
moment, I just
listen,
didn't want. I was not having that, bro.
listen, bro. Listen. You mentioned United, yeah? I support United too. You
Yeah,
know that.
yeah,
So we lost together on Saturday.
yeah.
Either one of us was gonna win on Sunday.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
at
But
you took a win and a loss. You took a win and a loss. I took two L's back to back like Drake. So
yeah,
just to put it
wow,
like that,
Drake.
yeah, I took back to back L's like Drake, bro. So that's what it is. Now, as soon as he took him out, I'm like, yo, that was a moment. That was a big moment in the
And
race.
what made it even worse, bro, is that Leclerc was already up to 8 by lap 2.
Yeah, 11 places made, bro.
That was a mega
Leclerc,
start, man.
Leclerc was a man possessed. He
Yeah,
was
he
a
was,
man
man.
possessed that
I
race.
was worried. Eh? I was quite worried actually.
I had a bit of hope. I had a smidge of hope because it was still early in the race. Anything can happen, but I think after the pit stops, the fate was sealed.
And bro, before we get into that, actually going back to the start, I mean, Red Bull had a disastrous start. I mean, with Max spinning out Piastri, he also span, and even Sergio Perez span. But Sergio Perez was even worse because Perez had so much damage that he had to retire from the race. So, on what could potentially be his final appearance in Formula One, that is such a sour way. That is such a
That's
sour way for him
that's
to
that's such a sad
end the
ending, bro.
season.
That's a
He
very
went out.
sad
He
ending.
went out with a whimper, basically. He went out with a whimper,
That is a sad
and
ending, bro. If he's leaving.
and it's not just. Yeah, I mean, listen, with Perez, I think we said time and time again about this, bro. I think
Yeah.
at this point we just have to wait and see on what's gonna happen with Sergio Perez's future. I wouldn't listen. For me, I obviously just can't see him at Red Bull next season because of his performances.
But
Um,
it's his decision.
but it's his decision at the end of the
It's his
day,
decision.
or Helmut Marko's decision.
No, it's his decision. I
Yeah, but
believe because if it's Helmut Marko's decision, he would already have his head on a stick, bro.
yeah, obviously ESPN have said that it is probably he would
Look
probably
how
leave,
look how
but
he treated Gasly and Albon.
yeah, no. Anyhow,
So
but also Oscar Piastri had a disastrous few laps because obviously he got spanned by Verstappen, but then he just bombarded straight onto Colapinto, and
yeah,
that resulted him in getting a 10-second time penalty. Now he served the penalty later on in the race. Max Verstappen also got a 10-second time penalty. So obviously with Red Bull, I mean with Perez's retirement, that pretty much put all hopes of a constructor's side to bed, basically, with Perez's retirement, and that pretty much automatically confirmed their third place spot, basically.
yeah,
Um, bro, overall, it was a very eventful race.
yeah.
It was not
As
the
per
most
usual in
memorable
Abu
race,
Dhabi,
not the
not the
most spectacular
most,
race.
not the most, but it was a
Yeah,
fun watch. It was a fun watch.
yeah, it was. Now, unfortunately, it was not the Sergio Perez that went out with a whimper, basically, but also both Franco Colapinto and Valtteri Bottas. Colapinto unfortunately had significant damage on on
With
on, on his front wing. He basically made contact with Kevin Magnussen. And Kevin Magnussen was just fresh from making a pit stop, basically.
and
Le-
Bottas, I believe, and Bottas also
yeah,
was the one that made contact with Sergio Perez on lap one.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We've also had Liam Lawson, who put the blame on his team because they didn't place
Yeah,
his tires as they should.
that was crazy, bro. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was. But going back to Colapinto and Bottas, very, very sad to see them ending having their time at Formula One end in this manner, bro. Basically,
Absolutely.
Especially Valtteri Bottas, because we've praised Bottas in the previous episodes that he is going to be missed in the sport.
Absolutely.
Um, and even Franco Colapinto, listen, if he doesn't get a seat next season, it would be a shame.
The short stint that Colapinto had in Formula One, let's say not memorable, but
No, no, no.
I'm gonna go with impactful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I'm going impactful.
he tried his best. He tried
I'm
his
gonna go with
best,
impact.
definitely.
To me, he made a solid, a decent impact.
But listen, I think for me, the fact that he did a better job than Logan Sargent, for me, that's already enough for me. That he
But
did a far better
I
job than
mean,
Logan Sargent.
with
So
all due respect to Logan Sargent, bro, that's the bare minimum.
yeah,
Let's be real now.
no,
That was
no,
the
but
bare minimum.
at least he got some points in the bag, bro.
Yeah, he did, and
James
that's what matters.
James Vows apologized to Franco Pinto because of his retirement. Was such a sweet moment as well.
Yeah.
But about to Bottas, bro. Obviously he said that this might not be the last time that one has seen him in Formula One. He's
We
open for a
hope.
future move.
We
And
hope.
the same goes for Zhou Guanyu as well. Both drivers have said that they have their future remains in balance, basically. So we'll see on where their future is going to end up in Formula One. Bro, apart from that, obviously all eyes were on Ferrari and McLaren. Obviously, Oscar Piastri's had no chance of getting himself well in points. So I think the focus was on Lando Norris.
But listen,
And
Piastri still made a decent recovery though, with the
no,
penalty,
Piastri definitely.
the spin in on lap one, turn
Yeah,
one, the penalty. So he made a pretty good recovery, as much as he could, in my opinion.
yeah. And he managed to get himself in 10th place. He managed
He
to get
got
at
a
least
point.
he got a point. But bro, the focus was on Lando Norris. He was in the lead. He was dominating the entire race,
Unbothered.
and he was unbothered for the entire race. But I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was quite worried because number one small mistake or one issue with the car, that means the constructors was going to be for Ferrari. And number
Yeah.
two, Charles Leclerc was on fucking smoke, bro, in this race because
Listen,
he made a fantastic recovery.
He was a man possessed. I'm like, this is the Leclerc I want to see. He
Yeah,
was a man possessed, bro. I enjoyed watching him. And listen, and after this weekend, I'm just gonna say this, yeah. I know I've been harsh on Ferrari. I know I've been
you were.
harsh on the team. But after this weekend, you know what? I'm proud of the boys, man. I'm really, really proud of the boys. They tried their best.
Yeah,
They tried their hardest, especially this race, especially Charles from P19 to P3.
yeah.
They couldn't do any more than they could have, bro. So I'm very glad. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of the boys, man. That's all I can say.
I
And
think
it's been a
you
great season.
listen. I think you did absolutely everything, bro. I think Leclerc
Absolutely.
could have drove. I think you guys could have drove any better than that. Basically, I think that's why I was worried because
If
Sainz
if
was
Leclerc started
consistent.
if Leclerc started at least in the top five,
Would be
then
much spicier.
yeah, but it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be tough,
It was a mega drive, though. At least still.
but for Ferrari to win the constructors in this race was always not only was going to be a mammoth task, but a miracle needed to happen. A
Yeah,
2021 miracle needed to
yeah,
happen.
definitely.
A 2021 miracle.
But
I was
listen,
fairly relaxed. I was fairly
yeah.
relaxed the whole race, but I'm very proud of the boys. Very, very proud of them.
No, and you should be, bro. You should be. I told you last week that you just couldn't wave the white flag straight away because anything could happen in any
Anything could.
sport, regardless of the gap between the points. Anything could have happened, and at on some occasions, I was a bit concerned with Ferrari specifically because Leclerc was charging his way to the grid. He started from 19 and he was already up to 8 in the first couple of laps, and then he made himself into the top 5. So the pit stops obviously were key. Sainz was consistent. He just stayed there in the top 3.
A great
But
way for Sainz to end his Ferrari
yeah,
career, by the way, as
definitely.
well.
But going back to Lando Norris, as much as I was concerned that something bad was going to happen to him, luckily, thank the gods that he was calm, he was composed, he was untroubled, he was unfazed, and he ended up winning the race by a comfortable margin, bro.
And listen, the pit stop, 2 seconds flat
Yeah,
for Norris, McLaren on Norris, that pretty much sealed it.
yeah.
Because the pressure was on the pit crew to have for him to have a decent pit stop, and it was flawless. It was a
And
flawless
even
pit stop.
yeah, it's not just the pit stop as well, bro. Even just the last couple of laps, the gap was getting bigger. It was from 5 seconds, was getting to 7 seconds. Time to tires were just were
Sainz,
going.
Sainz was trying to get Norris after the pits, right after the pits, and that ate his tires up.
Yeah,
Where
definitely.
Norris was just going away, and he
Yeah,
practically got a 7 second lead
I
or
think it was
something.
around
Yeah,
7.5 seconds. I think it was the gap
somewhere
between
like
them.
that.
But as we said, guys, Lando Norris was untroubled for the entire thing, and he won the race by a comfortable margin, and that obviously sealed the constructors' title. So that is our first. So that is McLaren's first in this of the century, and it is our first constructors' title since 1998. Basically, when I was born. Basically, that was the last time we won a constructors' title. That was basically the year where we had Mika Hakkinen and David Coulthard in the team, legendary lineup of drivers there.
Absolutely,
And listen, fully deserved. I'm so proud of the team.
absolutely.
I'm so proud of every single member of the team, from Zach Brown to Andrea Stella, from the entire engineers and the entire people back in Woking, to Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. It was fully deserved. And ever since Miami, we were the team to beat for the constructors title because obviously Sergio Perez opened the door for us, Ferrari and Mercedes as well, for the constructors crown. But we were just a different breed from this season. We made improvements straight away. Obviously, my focus this season with this team was to improve further on from last season, and that's exactly what we did. I mean, the constructors title was like the last thing I had in my mind, and to win it, unbelievable, bro. Obviously,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
celebrations were epic down the paddock as well after the race, and even in the factory as well. And as for Lando Norris, listen, he has got his fair share of criticism this year when it comes to myself as well. I was quite critical of him in some races where he lacked his maturity, but this was so. much what I wanted to see from Lando Norris. And this for me is that type of performance for me is that performance that wins you a world championship title. Obviously, the season wasn't meant to be, so it could be also we could see it next
He
season
already,
as
he
well.
already, he already put his foot down for next year. He
Yeah,
already put his foot down. So
yeah,
listen, we'll have to wait and see on that.
yeah,
But as you mentioned, bro, you fully deserve this. You fully
yeah,
deserve the Constructors' Championship. You were the team to beat the season. Ferrari arrived late to the party. We
yeah.
arrived
They
late to the
did,
party
they did,
because for the
they
majority of
did.
the season, it was between you and Red Bull.
Yeah,
Let's be real now. For the majority of
yeah,
the
yeah. It
season,
is.
and for a long period, we were third. Ferrari were third in the constructors.
Yeah,
In reality, so it was just as of late we jumped up to second.
but you gave it a
So
good fight. But listen, respect. You gave it a good
absolutely,
fight.
absolutely,
And bro, listen, how refreshing it is to see McLaren and Ferrari battling out each other yet again.
absolutely.
It's been such a long time since we've last seen
And
those two
listen,
teams battling out, bro. Honestly,
but you know what the thing is now. Both teams are likable.
yeah.
They're very likable nowadays. Not like back in the day, it's you hate one, you loved one, or you hate the other. Both teams are likable.
But
You
there's
got
still
two.
that rivalry, bro. There's still that rivalry going
There's
on.
still that competitiveness. I mean, that
Yeah,
competitiveness will always be there. I mean, you need it in the sport, but it's not something that you should hate on the other. You know what I'm saying? You got two team principals who just love to have a laugh. And
yeah,
Zach Brown and
absolutely.
uh,
And
and
Fred
Fred
Vasseur.
Vasseur. You
Love
got Fred
love the
Vasseur,
dude, bro.
who's who's just a complete, who's like a walking meme at this point. And you got Zach
Yeah, he
Brown,
is.
who has his fair share of jokes as well. He can crack you
Yeah,
up.
he does. Yeah, he
You
does.
got you got two great lineups in Leclerc and Sainz. Of course, that's not anymore from next year. And you got Norris and Piastri. So very likable teams nowadays.
Yeah,
Unlike Red Bull and Mercedes actually.
yeah, definitely.
And it is refreshing. It is very refreshing. I'm very happy that McLaren won it. Fully deserved. Absolutely
And
deserved.
listen, it's a win for the fans as well. Because obviously, as I said, it was so refreshing to see McLaren and Ferrari fighting back at the top spot, and even like the scenes after the race, they were so great to see, bro. I mean, there was incredible sportsmanship from the
Absolutely.
Ferrari and the McLaren and the McLaren mechanics, basically hugging each other out, basically
Yeah.
incredible. I am so proud of the team. I'm even just proud of both drivers as well. I obviously don't want to favor with Lando or Oscar because Oscar Piastri unfortunately was quite unlucky in this race. I mean his post race his comments with Verstappen on
Bro,
lap one were so hilarious. By the
I'm
way,
I'm I'm I'm
love to love him.
I'm just remembering this. You remember when Lando Norris won his first race this season?
Yeah, at Miami.
Fred Vasseur was over there pouring champagne on
Yeah,
Norris. So that,
that's why
that's that's when you know there's no rivalry. I mean, there is competitiveness
the
that you
photo
want to
bombing
beat.
as well. The photo bombing as well.
The constant photo bombing,
The photo bombing.
Even Zach Brown got into it. I didn't
Yeah,
expect Zach Brown. He got into it too.
and even Carlos Sainz as well.
Carlos Sainz as well. So the
Uh,
competitive is there. It's always going to be there. It should be there.
yeah,
It should be there.
and
But there's no hate. There's
no,
no
there isn't. There
animosity.
isn't.
And
And
that's
bro,
great to see.
speaking of Carlos Sainz, bro, that is a fantastic way to sign off with Ferrari, bro. Second and consistent, may I add
Mu-
as well.
mu- Muchos gracias, el señor Spicy. Muchos
Smooth
gracias to him.
operator. He's
The
gonna be
smooth
Mr.
operator.
Ferrari, bro. He's gonna be Mr.
Absolutely.
Ferrari.
Absolutely. Super excited for Hamilton and Leclerc next season.
But Sainz is just such a great driver, bro.
It was such a great partnership.
Yeah.
I remember when Sainz left for Ferrari and he was replaced with Ricardo at McLaren. We talked about this and we said we all thought that Norris and Ricardo was going to be a better partnership than Leclerc and Sainz.
Not the case.
It was nowhere near. Sainz and Leclerc, they had their fair share of problems. It wasn't always sunshine and rainbows,
No.
but it was a great partnership. They complemented each other very, very well.
Yeah.
And Sainz, bro, I'm gonna miss him at Ferrari. I'm really gonna miss him. His first victory in the British Grand Prix back in 2022, I
I
believe, was
think,
it?
yeah, or
20,
2023, I think. No, 2022, 2022.
October 2022.
Because
His
23, he
first,
won Singapore.
yes, 2022. He won his first race. Singapore 2023. The only driver apart from Red Bull to win that race that whole calendar year, helping
Insane
Norris
stat,
as
insane stat.
helping Norris getting the DRS to defend from both Mercedeses. That is a smooth operation, bro. I remember that very well.
Yeah.
He's gonna be missed. I wish him all the best at Williams.
Yeah,
I
let's
hope
hope
he
he smashes it.
succeeds.
Let's hope he smashes it at Williams, bro. Because
I
I mean,
hope to God.
it's not just us, but just in general, I'm a bit concerned for Williams because of the performance of the car. So I really, really hope we see more of Carlos Sainz on
Yes.
what he has to offer, because he's a great driver, bro. I said
Yes,
it time and time
absolutely.
again. Even
Absolutely.
for me at McLaren, even when he was with us at McLaren, I think he should have stayed for at least for one more season. I think he left a bit too early at his stage of his career. He's just there's just nothing to hate with him.
Absolutely.
Carlos Sainz.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
Bro, his teammates finished in third place. I mean, to get from 19th on the grid to third place, he looked gutted at the end, and understandably so, because he wanted the constructors title. But make no mistake, that was a mega performance
It
from
was
Leclerc.
that has to be one of his best drives
Yeah,
for
I
me.
think it's very high up there, actually.
That has to be that has to be one of his best drives. As I was watching the race, first of all, from going from 19 to 8 in one lap. Oh,
No,
God,
correct.
God, goddamn acid reflux, man! I hate it. For God's
I'm,
sakes,
I'm having it as well, bro. So no worries.
Jesus Christ, bro! You want to bear, but it stays inside.
Yeah.
It's the
Anyways,
worst.
you were on Leclerc P9.
Listen, from P19 to P8, mega. Absolutely mega. It was like watching a man possessed driving out there. Loved watching him. All the overtakes were with intent. The pit stops were good. Everything was great. Ferrari did all they could. All they could, and that's why I'm proud of the boys. I had a change of heart as I was watching the race. I'm like, I'm such a dickhead, bro. Why was I this harsh on the team?
You were very critical last week
Why? What?
with your
As,
team, eh?
bro, I was like this, bro. Look, I was like this. I'm gonna show you a demonstration, yeah. Like this, my feet on this cushion, on this little cushion right here of sorts, and I was watching the race, and I'm there thinking, raw. Why am I so critical? I couldn't believe
No,
the
no,
things I've said.
you didn't need to be that
Yeah,
critical.
I was a dickhead, bro. I admit it here, live,
Yeah,
live. I admit it. I was a dickhead,
yeah,
but
yeah.
proud of the boys. Proud of Charles Leclerc. Bring on 2025. Big thank you to Carlos Sainz. Fully deserves his flowers. I hope he goes on and smashes it.
Yeah.
But now it's all about 2025 now. I can't wait for it, to be honest.
And yeah, and listen, bro, we're also ignoring Lewis Hamilton because
Who finished
he had
behind? Who
he
finished
had
behind
a mega
Leclerc?
drive like Leclerc as well. He had a fantastic
Absolutely.
drive
And
that
also
was back in the grid.
overtaking Russell on the last lap.
Yeah,
Do you think because I didn't quite see the overtake. I know they were showing replays of it, but
he went on the left hand side, if I'm not mistaken.
did Russell do that on purpose?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think
I think
it
it's
was
yes. I
fair.
think it's yes said no. I think it's yes said no.
It's like, you know what, I'm gonna let him slide. But even listen, Russell himself did say that he wants to be a world champion like Hamilton and not like Verstappen to add more fuel to the fire
Yeah,
between him and
definitely.
Verstappen. By the way, to add more fuel to the
Yeah,
fire.
I've seen
So,
that actually.
but listen, Lewis Hamilton from P16 to P4 again, solid, bro.
That
Like a mega
that's
drive as well.
champions. That's a champion's performance, bro. I mean,
Absolutely.
for me to work your way up to the grid, and even like the post race, the post team radio comments were very emotional. I'm not gonna lie. And listen, this is a legendary stint. That Hamilton had, his 12-year legendary stint.
From
This is probably the best stint of any Formula One driver has had
It
of all
is.
time,
It
basically.
is. It's for the
7 world
history
titles,
books.
6 world titles under this team, complete dominance from during that time. It's just an iconic stint, and obviously no wonder the emotional scene's coming to an end. And obviously now the focus for Hamilton's Ferrari now coming for next season,
What started off as a leap of faith in 2013, sorry,
2013. Yeah,
2013, what started out as a leap of faith turned out to be one for the history books. Because this
yeah,
was generally started out. This started out as a leap of faith. Because Hamilton was with McLaren Mercedes at the time, and they want Mercedes put all their eggs into one basket with Lewis Hamilton. And look where
yeah.
we're at now. Look where they at now.
Six
A
world
leap of
titles.
faith.
That is actually insane, man. That's
Bu-
one more than Michael Schumacher as well, because Michael Schumacher won 5 world titles with Ferrari. Hamilton won 6 with
1-6, bro.
Mercedes.
The best stint. Best
The
stint.
best, the best.
The
Yeah,
best.
definitely.
Even better than Schumi.
And Senna and Juan Manuel Fangio. I mean,
The
look.
absolute best. The creme de la creme.
Obviously, an iconic stint coming to
One
an end,
one
bro. I mean,
one
there's no.
one one person can maybe beat him still, and that is Verstappen. But I don't think he would.
I don't think it's gonna happen, bro.
I don't
Honestly, I
think
I I I don't think it's
it's
gonna
gonna
happen because
it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot to get level with that. A lot.
definitely. And even like that moment where he just stood near his car at the end, it was
Bro,
very emotional as well. I mean, that was
I,
just such a
I,
symbolic moment for me.
I was about to cry, bro. I mean, not cry like cry out loud,
No, it
but
was
it,
emotional though.
a tear was about to drop, bro. A tear was about to drop. That's like seeing a 12-year relationship end right then and there, right in
Yeah,
front of you. Because when you mention Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton comes first to your mind
definitely.
instantly. So it's gonna be very weird now not seeing Hamilton in Mercedes colors. It's gonna be quite strange, bro. I can't lie. It's gonna be very
Yeah,
strange.
nah, same here. It is gonna be very strange to see him in the colors of Ferrari for next season. But yeah, a legendary stint coming to end. That one for me was a great way for Hamilton to sign off his 12-year stay at Mercedes, and um, um, I think that stint is gonna be almost impossible
To emulate.
to not just emulate but to exceed as well, bro. It's gonna be it's gonna be almost
It's gonna be
impossible for
hard.
that. It's a legendary stint. Anyway, finishing the rest of the grid, his teammate George Russell in fifth. Good race for him. Places from where he started.
A bit closer to the mic, bro. A bit closer to the mic.
Sorry, excuse me. Fifth place for George Russell. A little improvement for him from qualifying. I said where he started in 7th place. And finishing in 5th place. The best you could have managed with the Mercedes. Max Verstappen, despite his spin at the start of the race, he still managed to get himself into 6th place.
And he got a 10-second penalty as well for that.
I got a 10 second. I got a 10 second stop and go. A 10 second time penalty for that. At least. Again, nothing for him
He
to
had nothing to
lose.
lose, bro.
Nothing to lose for in this regard. So at least he got 8 points in the back for his team and for himself as well. Pierre Gasly in 7, and that pretty much confirmed Alpine as this as for 6th place. Bro, not only is it fantastic for Pierre Gasly, but for Alpine in general, it's fantastic, bro. I
Absolutely.
mean, the Interlagos for me
Thank
just
God Brazil. Thank God Brazil.
they have to thank Brazil because they had such for all their inconsistencies and for all their troubles throughout the season with their car, with their transitional changes up top, with their management, and
Yeah.
even with Ocon also leaving at the end of the season. 6th place is a fantastic way for them to end the season. It's obviously going to be a lot
As
of money in
well,
the bank.
That's about 50 million, right? Or so?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Damn. That's a
And also
lot of
Pierre
cheddar,
and
bro. That's a
also
lot of
Pierre
cheddar.
Gasly, look, bro, and also Pierre Gasly has also he also made history as he became the first driver to have incurred $0 in damages during an entire season, which
Wow.
is crazy.
Wow. Wow. Listen, that's a stat to be proud of.
Yeah, it is.
That's a
It
stat to
is.
be proud of. If if there is a badge, a gold star for cleanest driver, Pierre
Yeah,
Gasly.
definitely.
He can be proud of that, you know. He can be very proud
Absolutely.
because we
Absolutely.
never thought we'd heard of that. I never thought that existed.
And listen, if there were any doubts about Pierre Gasly on what he can provide for any team, there's your answer right there.
There you go.
Fantastic. And not only that, and now with and now he also ended he ended himself he ended in the top 10 at the driver standings as well with that seventh place
That
finish.
that
So
that
great.
that horrible stint with Red Bull really helped him.
Yeah,
Because after that horrible stint with Red Bull, and he went back to Alpha Tauri at the time, he never looked back since.
brilliant. No, no,
He
no.
never looked back since.
No, never looked back, and I think he now hopes that it would be more of the same or is even better for next season because this season Alpine had a difficult season and that was the best way for them to end the season because they end
Yeah.
the season on a high. They've now they finished ahead of Haas and they also finished ahead of Racing Bulls, which is great stuff to see.
Yeah.
Uh, Nico Hulkenberg in eighth, Fernando Alonso in ninth, and Oscar Piastri in 10th for Nico Hulkenberg, a great way for him to sign off with Haas. Now he's obviously going to
Finishing
be
in the
joining
points.
Sauber next season. Disappointing for Haas that they finished behind Alpine. But yeah, eighth place for Hulkenberg to finish himself in the top 10. Good stuff for him. Alonso in ninth with 2 points, and Oscar Piastri in 10th with a single point. Both drivers again getting themselves into the points, and not much else to say with those two drivers. Bro, driver of the day. This could easily go to obviously the winners of the day are McLaren, but the driver of the day this could easily be either Charles Leclerc or Lewis Hamilton. But for me, I think it's Leclerc for the
I'm gonna go
simple fact
Leclerc.
that he started from the back of the grid.
I want to go Hamilton
Mm.
because maybe there could be some sentiment,
Ah,
but both of them deserve it, bro.
both
You
of
know
them
what,
deserve it.
bro? You know what? I'm gonna give it to both of them, bro. Can we
No,
share?
no. You can go with Leclerc and I can go with Hamilton. How does that sound?
Or I could go with Hamilton. You can go with Leclerc, bro. Either way.
It could go either way because both
Either
drivers
way.
deserve that. Both drivers deserve that award. But obviously,
Absolutely.
McLaren are the big winners because obviously they won the constructors' title. Lando won the race as well. So obviously the winners are McLaren because
Yeah.
obviously we deserve to be in that. But the driver is gonna be it's either gonna be Charles Leclerc or Lewis Hamilton.
Both of them deserve it.
Loser of the day. Loser of the
I'm
day.
gonna go Red Bull, bro.
I think Sergio Perez could be loser of the day.
I'm gonna go
Uh,
Red Bull.
yeah,
Red
same
Bull as a
here,
whole. Red
same
Bull as a
here.
whole. Max Verstappen get that 10-second penalty. Not that he will care, but it still hindered his race position, his race pace, and Sergio Perez getting
Yeah,
retiring out
uh,
from lap one.
uh, and he also gets stick of the day as well, Max Verstappen for that spin
Yeah,
on lap one. Absolutely,
yeah.
fully deserves that. Um, and clown of the day, not quite sure who to give it.
No, not a clue.
No, no,
No
absolutely.
one.
All right, bro, we have reached the end of the season, and
Wow.
if we look at the final standings for the season, obviously Verstappen wins his fourth world title. He stays on top with 437 points. Lando Norris's race win cements him in second place with 374 points. Charles Leclerc in third with 356 points, but massive shout out to him for making such a big effort for trying his best towards the end of the season. Oscar Piastri in fourth with 292 points. Carlos Sainz finishes just 2 points behind him in fifth with 290 points. The two Mercedes of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in sixth and seventh with 245 points and 223 points. Sergio Perez in eighth with 152 points. Fernando Alonso in ninth with 70 points, and Pierre Gasly with that seventh place pulls him up into 10th place with 42 points ahead of Nico Hulkenberg with just a point behind him. The constructors, McLaren are the champions with the cursed satanic number of
666.
666 points. Um,
Jesus Christ.
looks fucked up, honestly. I'm not gonna.
And listen, bro, you have a history of throwing curses onto teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
United,
listen,
yeah, so at least
I'm
quite
gonna
fitting with
remember this. If anything happens to you lot next season, this is one of the reasons.
I do it with United as well. So
This is one of the reasons. If anything happens to you lot next season, this is
how
one of the
fucking
reasons.
fitting, man. How fitting is that shit? But anyhow, McLaren win the constructors title with 666 points. Ferrari in second with just 14 points behind with 652 points. Red Bull in third with 589 points. Mercedes in fourth with 468 points. Aston Martin finishing fifth with 94 points. Alpine in sixth with 65 points. Haas in seventh with 58 points. Racing Bulls in eighth with 46 points. Williams in ninth with 17 points. And Sauber finished rock bottom with just 4 points. And with that, guys, we have reached the end of the Formula of this year's Formula One season. It was
What a
such
year, bro.
what a year.
What a year.
It was not the one man team season that everyone thought was gonna be. Thank God for
After
this
the two
season.
races, after the first two races, that's what we thought, bro.
Yeah, yeah, but thank God it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It wasn't. It didn't turn out to be that way. Obviously, Verstappen won the world title, but it was far from complete domination, unlike last season. Guys, thank you so much for listening to us throughout this year. Make sure to follow us on our socials. The season may be over, but we have one more episode, guys, which is going to be next week or the week after, where we will be taking a look back at our season predictions. We got some real stinkers, bro, with our predictions.
Jesus.
And we're also gonna give out some awards, driver of the year and stuff like that, guys. But make sure to tune in for that episode. It's gonna be released not next week or the one after. And with that, we're gonna sign off. Let's hope the drivers have a well-deserved winter break now. And we're gonna be seeing you next week or the week after, guys. Peace out and have a great week.
Thank you very much, guys. Good night. Stay blessed. Stay safe.
Papaya Army forever.
Yeet.